Okay, so the next question is more about our products.
Yeah.
But if you were new to the products, where would you start? I think for a lot of people,
That's a good question.
it's sort of like if you go to a crystal store and you are just needing to get 1 or 2 crystals because
Right.
you're new.
Okay, well, if you're new to the crystal store, start with amethyst.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Bonus.
Because it's easy to find, it's not expensive, and it has really excellent properties. Basically, just like, it's kind of like our liquid smudge, and so maybe that's where I would start. Is like the amethyst crystal, it's just about like clearing and elevating the energy of your space.
Okay.
And the spray is, I think, easy to use. You don't have to have a big commitment in terms of like adding something into your routine.
Right.
It's something you kind of carry with you, and you can use it anywhere. Like use it in your car, use it if you're traveling in hotels, and use it in your own home. Just sort of like clear and elevate the energy of your space, because you're gonna feel better if your space feels better.
Totally.
That's why we spend so much time investing in design and decor and all of these things. It's about the feel of your space. And if your home feels
blah.
Yeah, if your home feels blah, or if it feels like it's sort of dragging you down, or something negative and you can't quite put your finger on it, try using liquid smudge, or try using another plant for smudging. So whether that's cedar or sweetgrass or Palo Santo, just see if that kind of helps, right? Because sometimes that's kind of all we need, just to create that little bit of shift in mood. Is our energetic fields can get really easily distracted by stuff going on that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with you. So I think that's where I would start. I think that's the easiest place.
Start with liquid smudge.
Yeah.
And we have that really nice little baby bottle of it that I love. And it's basically replaced the full-size bottle because it's so convenient.
Right. So
and
we
it's
have a bigger
cute.
bottle, and then we have the little bottle, which is easier to travel with. And that's a great place to start too, because of price points.
Yeah, totally. So then you had just mentioned the Palo Santo and the cedar and the sage, but it's not those 3 that make that such a great clearer.
Right.
Do you want to talk about that?
We don't actually use any of those.
Yeah.
in our liquid smudge, which is.
Except cancel that.
Cancel that. When I use the word smudge, I use that to refer to the practice of using plants in some type of way to clear and elevate the energy of your space. So that can be a spray, it can be an incense, it can be burning that plant directly. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're using sweetgrass or sage or whatever.
Right.
So the plants that we use in that are the main plant in there is called asphodel. And asphodel is this like really pretty white flower. It grows typically in and around the Mediterranean. And that plant was used traditionally in ceremony for people going through transition in life. So they wanted to sort of like leave the past in the past and move forward into the new. And so it's excellent for that in terms of like cleansing and clearing. It was used before people would go into a temple or into a place of worship, so that they were going in a clear, clean state. And you'll still see this practice in some parts of the world where, of course, it's important they would have like they would clean their bodies before they would go into temple, but there's also a practice of some type of a smoke or incense that also gets used, and that's to clear their energetic field before they go into their place of worship. So that's asphodel. So this like pretty little white flower. I'm sure you can look at that. And then the other 2 sort of elements that are interesting that are in there is lavender. And we talked about lavender before.
Okay.
So if you're like, ugh, I don't like lavender, you probably haven't smelled a good lavender.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
I agree. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I find 90% of people that don't like the smell of lavender, when you can expose them to sort of
like an authentic, true.
Exactly. Versus
not
a
grandma's
hybridized
lavender.
No.
The same your grandma's lavender.
Yeah, there's these weird hybridized species of lavender that are very, very common because they're cheap to get, but they smell kind of camphory. Anyways, those are the hybridized lavenders. Typically, that's what people think of when they're like, oh, I don't like it. But we obviously use a true French lavender. So lavender, the reason we use that in there is because it's about alleviating yourself from burdens. So you can see why that's a nice combination with the asphodel, about leaving the past in the past, letting go of old, and then lemon, which has a really clearing, elevating, uplifting scent, of course, but also on the energetic and spiritual level, is really about uplifting the emotional body. So it's great. It's so good for that type of situation where you really want to like clear the energy of your space. And we've had so many people use it from different different walks of life, different professions. It's been super helpful for our massage therapists and people that do a lot of energetic work.
Yeah.
But also when you're just like, you've got to be in space that just sometimes feels heavy or doesn't feel good. It's a really simple way to do it, and that way you're not messing around with matches and smoke and all of that type of thing. So
Totally.
that's where I would start.
Perfect.
Liquid smudge.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. I
Yeah.
sort of suspected as much.
Yeah.